Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Welcome. My name is Michele Jutrisa, and I'm an independent demonstrator of Stampin' Up! Here in New South Wales, Australia. And as you can see, I have still got my cough after all these months. So if I have a coughing fit today, please forgive me. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. It's always great welcoming new people. So I'm in the middle of a mess. I have got stamps and dies and papers all over my desk at the moment, taking up lots of room. My desk did start nice and neat and tidy earlier today, but I'm playing with some new products and I thought I would share them with you. So let me first move you over to my desk view so you can see what we're looking at. And as I said, please jump on, say hello. It's really great having you all here. Okay, let me just grab this designer series paper that I've got. Now, this is online exclusives that will be coming out in July. So this is a sneak peek. It's the beauty of being in Stampin' Up! If you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you get to see these products before your customers can purchase them, basically. So it's really great having that. And we've only got 2 days left, I think it is. Let me bring up my image so you can see what I'm talking about. 2 days left for the new starter kit offer. So it finishes on the 31st of May. Okay, if you sign up now to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, which is $169, Stampin' Up! Will give you free of charge the 5 new ink colours in the brand new ink pads. There are a fantastic range of colours. I just love them, and we'll be playing with one of them today. And they are fantastic, being a magnetic stamp pad, which means that the lid, whoops, things are going flying. Let me just grab the one we got for today. This is Peaceful Pine. Whoops, can't see it with that there. Let me remove that for the moment. Here's your Peaceful Pine. And instead of having the old push and flip stamp pads, these now have a lid and they're magnetic. So if I just hold that top, that's not going to fall open, which means that you can store them side by side. And I'm just going to, I don't know whether you can see that, but I've got that swinging because the magnet is holding that. So it's quite strong. So you can use the top of your lid for ink colouring. They can stack on top of each other like that so you don't lose them. You can stack all your ink pads up on top of each other. They are really good. It still has the ink pad upside down, so your ink is always being drawn to the bottom. But let me bring up my image again. So up until the 31st of May, if you join my team, Stampin' Up! Will give you the 5 new ink colours for free. Now, if you've already purchased your new ink colours, then you've got the option also to add, instead of having the ink colours, adding an extra $65 of product to your starter kit. And that will give you a total value of around about $300 value of product in your starter kit. So it is a fantastic time to join. Stampin' Up! Family are fantastic. They're very supportive of each other. And if you join my team, then I will be there to support you as well. So have a good think about it. There's only a couple of days left. If you want to contact me, you can contact me via my Stampin' Up! Website, which is at michellejutrisa.stampinup.net, or you can contact me at michele@jutrisa.com. So let me know, and we can have a chat and I can help you out. So let me go back to my screen and let's have a look at this new product. So this is the designer series paper. As you can see, I've already started cutting into it. but some really lovely this is side A, and I'm just going to very quickly show you some of these designs. So that one there we've already got. This one here. There's another one. Then there's that one. And there's one more, which happens to be my favourite. And I'm reluctant to cut into it, which is this one here, which is quite a huge one. And it's going to make, I think, a fantastic scrapbook page. And if we flip all of those over, then on the reverse, we have all these wonderful little small prints that you can use on any of your designs. So that's the designer series paper. I'm just going to pop these to one side. Then it also comes in this bundle, and it's the stitch stocking dies. I'm not quite sure what's the paper called. Let me have a quick look. A stitched season. So it's probably a stitched season bundle. But you're also within the bundle, you get these stamp sets and these dies. So really fantastic. So you can create your own images there to do like a patchwork quilting type of designs. Rather than just using the designer series paper, you've got some wonderful sentiments, sending warm wishes this Christmas. May all your days be merry and bright. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Some really nice to and from. And then you have these fantastic dies here, which cut out a stocking, some holly and berries, and some different patchwork or quilting ideas there. Hello, Annette. How are you? And hello, Leslie. Thank you for joining. So this is what I'm playing with. Now, I did start off with one idea, but after starting to play today, I've come up with another idea for my card. So I'm in the middle of cutting all that out now. So let me show you what I've been doing. And I'll also show you my original card idea, which is going to be just quite simple. But, you know, me being me, I just had to step it up a little bit. So with this, very easy. If you wanted to do some really quick, simple cards, you know, cut out your panels in a patchwork type of design. I was going to mat that on white and then mat that in the Peaceful Pine. And then there was my card base. So very quick way to make up some really simple cards. So that's what I was going to start off with today. But I had to play with the stockings. I wanted to die cut them and see what we got. So let me show you what I've got here. So I'm just going to grab some of these pieces. So with the stocking dies, you can see here you've got this large die here, which just cuts out your shape of your stocking, which I have done here in my Peaceful Pine. So that will cut out that piece there. Then we also have this piece here, which is the bit that I'm got playing with here at the moment. And I've just got, I'll show you that part in a minute. Let me just get rid of all of that to there. Now I've got tape all stuck in here. I'll have to get my take a pick tool and pull all of that out. Just needed to use a bit of masking tape just to hold some of this down. And it does come out quite easily, which is good. Except now it's stuck all over my fingers. Okay, I'll finish that in a moment. But that piece there will die cut you a piece that looks like this one that I've cut out in the real red. Now, can you see the detail on that? Not quite sure whether you're getting all of that. Let me put a piece of white behind it. Might help it a bit. There we go. So you've got a lot of detail in there. Now, that's all sort of like die cut with stitching lines and so forth. And they're all just very, I don't know whether you can see it. It's all just held on with just tiny little bits there. So this piece here can be lifted up like that all the way around. So that forms that star. So there's a lot here I think you could do with this. And I've just had an idea. So I thought we're going to do that today. It's also got some holly and some berries. So I've cut out some of those as well. And I'm going to start with my idea. Now I'm going to pinch some bits and pieces from my original card I was going to make, because I want to use this card front and my mat, and I'm going to adhere my stocking onto that, and I'm hoping I can get it at a little bit more of an angle than that. And that's going to be the basis of my card. Now, what I thought I would do, and this is what I've been playing with. Let me get rid of these scraps. I have been taking this die and cutting it out of some of the designer series paper. So here you can see I've cut the toe out. So the bottom part of this die I've cut out here, and I'm left with all these little sections. So if I grab my paper snips, which are just here, and my little tray, I'm just going to, and I should say too, this suite also comes with a lovely ribbon, which is this one here, and it also comes with some button style embellishments that you can pop onto your cards as well, which I thought was quite cute. So I'm going to just snip some of these little bits and pieces here apart, just working quite delicately in some ways, because I don't want to cut areas that I don't want. And I'm going to cut this apart down here. And as I cut these apart, all this is, because it's only just held on by a couple of millimeters of paper, it's going to start breaking up into little sections like that. So I'm going to do the same with all of this. And who can guess what I'm going to end up trying to do? I'm going to try to make a little patchwork stocking. So we're basically going to use this to paper piece everything back together. Now this is why I had the masking tape on there. I want to get rid of that piece there, but I just had this little scrap of paper and I put it over the top. Now I probably don't really need to take this masking tape off because it's on the back, but let's just see. No. Unfortunately, this masking tape wants to hang on to the paper. But that's okay. I'm just going to snip all these apart because that's all going to be rubbish. And that's going to be another section of my stocking. And then I have done this one here already, and I'm going to snip it apart. And I've done this one. Now these pieces of paper are all coming out of sections of these. So I've cut, using up some of these bits and pieces to make up those all those little bits. So I've just cut off a strip like that, and I'm using that to cut all these. So let's just keep trimming this down, and then we can start seeing what we've got and what we're going to need, because we won't need all of these pieces. But if you die cut that stocking a few times, even with using the prints that are on the back, then you may be able to get a few cards out of it. I've also cut this piece here, which is another die, which is going to be the top of my stocking. So we've got that piece and that. And I'm just going to quickly show you. Now I just want to work out which one I want to have next. I want something that's going to be light coloured. And I'm sort of thinking I want this one here. Though if I've already got that one. I've already got some blue. Just trying to work out what we can use. There are a couple of patterns. This is the best one though. Okay, let's just have a look what we've got and what we can use here. So this green one here wouldn't be too bad. So I'm just going to cut that off. And what I want to work out is there's my piece there. One of these pieces can go on there. So let's just start gluing this in, then we can see what we need and what we don't, because we don't have to put this on every single one either. Whoops, glad that turned up that way. So I want that one to go onto there. So that piece is just going to fit onto this just there like that. I then want to put this piece here, which is going to be that next one there. So that can go on there. Pop a little bit of glue on the back of this one, and that's going to be the heel. Probably just need to put a little bit more glue underneath there. So let me just grab a piece of cardstock. Now this is my trick that I do if I need a little bit of extra glue on something. I use this as like a paintbrush, and I'm just going to pop that underneath there like that, and that's going to leave a little bit of extra glue on there. So we can see how that's starting to come together. Now I want to pop one of these. This one here, I've got a choice of which ones, because I'm going to use this piece on the top up here. So let me just pop that on right now. So that's going to be the top cuff to my stocking. Could even now pop this all on, and that'll give us a bit of a better idea of what we're doing here too. So just make sure you put your glue into these sections here away from the stitching, otherwise you're going to have glue oozing out through your stitching. But I would advise sort of putting a bit of glue on all of those. So I hope everyone's has had a lovely week. And I'm just going to centralise that underneath there. So that's just going to give that a solid base to work on. So there's our stocking. And I need some more pieces to go on here. So I've got that piece. Could put, no, it's not the right one. It's just trying to piece everything together. That one there goes there. So because I've got that up there, I think I want to pop that down on the toe. Have that right out of the way. And I feel like we need at least one more piece. So let's work out we could do that one in there and leave that red there. So I want to put something into there. Or we could go the navy. We've already got the navy there. We could put that one, but that will end up being right next to that. Or we might go this one because it's got a little bit of white in that, which is going to just lift it because the base of the card is white. So I think we'll use this one here. Pop this out of my road a little bit. Pop that out of the road. And also these because I don't want to lose those. Rubbish. Let's bring in this again. I'm just going to grab my scissors to lift this masking tape out of there because I don't really want that to have any sticky residue. I'll muck around with my height in there. There we go. That's all gone. It was such a miserable morning here this morning. And now it's beautiful and sunny out there. So I hope you have some nice weather and been getting some rain because I'm sure it's been much needed. Okay, so pop that there, pop on my plate, and I want to die cut this one here. So what I'm going to do is just pop that on top like that, pop that down, and I'm just going to have to pop that there. I don't care what sort of angle and everything it cuts. I just need to make sure that my piece is well and truly within the confines of my cut and emboss. So nothing is going to hang out and everything goes there. And let's run this through and hopefully we'll get our last piece for our stocking. That's a bit of rubbish there. Let's have a look and see how we went here. So I want to remove that little section there. Oh, it didn't quite move it over far enough. It's got a little bit of cream in it, but that's okay. We will make this work. So this piece is going to go on there just like so. So there's our... Now I'm actually just thinking I might need to pop another piece in there. I think those two reds there are too close. So let's just have a look and see whether we've got another piece of designer series paper we can use out of this. We could actually put that blue piece, the blue spot in there, I think. So let's bring all this in again. Now, who likes doing paper piecing like this? Sometimes it can be quite fun. Now, you just have to make sure that when you're layering that piece on, that you're really covering up that section you want to cut. And that's why I had used the masking tape before, was just to hold a piece in place to make sure that that's where I wanted to cut. Can't believe it. Here I am in May and I'm starting on my Christmas cards. I don't usually do this, but I just was really drawn to this paper. Okay, so let's just snip that piece there. I'm hoping I've got the right, it should be right, looks like it is. And this piece here, can go right there. Okay, so there we go. That's the start of our Christmas stocking. Now, what we can do, and I'm hoping I've got one here, our new white gel pens. Now, they should be in this tray here. I should have one in here at least. There we go. And let's just grab a scrap here and just make sure that's working. And I'm just going to go around some of this here just to highlight this piece here. So I think I might just put little dots because I don't want to go too big. Just around this outer star. Now, of course, you could do exactly the same thing with this star as I've done with the bottom part, but it was a lot fiddlier. I'm just going around all of that. Now you also have got the lines on the inside of this that the die has already left. You could go over the top of those, just again, just doing a few dots just to enhance those stitching lines a little bit. Don't know whether I really want to get any more carried away. I could have just gone over the top of the whole lot, but I think that for the moment is enough. It's just to look like a little bit of stitching line there. Pop that to one side, and let's just grab our card mat again and pop that onto there and see how that's looking. So I do want that to be thin, that just like that. Now I do have these pieces here which I might use for embellishments, but what I might do first off is glue my mat together and start putting my card front together, and then we can work out what else we can pop onto this, because it's very busy and I don't really want to put too much on there that's going to detract away from it. We do want to have, and we do also need to do a sentiment as well. So I've got to die cut that and stamp that in a moment. Now I've got two of these because I'm going to use that card base I'd made before, and I've got another one of these for the inside, so I'm going to glue that as well. So has everyone got a fun weekend planned? Hello Kay, how are you going? Thank you for joining us. I've got a little bit of glue on that, so I might make this one my front. So I'm going to pop this on. Now these would make great tags as well. So Christmas tags, and that's where you can use that stamp that says to and from. So let's pop that onto there, and I just want to angle that a little bit. I don't want my stocking to be too upright. Probably could just bring it down a little bit too, not too much. And then let's grab our card base and pop this on the inside. And I've just realised something. I haven't left myself much. Oh no, that's fine. Because originally that was going to be my front. It's slightly smaller, but that's fine. It will still work. And then this is going to be my new card front. Now don't forget, tomorrow morning I am doing a live at 10 to 10:30. I'm still working on a little bit of scrapbooking where I'm creating an album all about me, and love it if you jump on and watch. You could either scrap along with me if you wanted to, but I am, if you saw last week's, you know that I'm using the pocket pages and the 6x8 page protector as well. So, okay. So there's our card so far. Yes, I know, Kay. Christmas already. It's yeah. But you know what? I had to share this. I thought, I love it. Now, what I thought I would do is probably pop a couple of pieces of holly on there. You know what? We do have these. We've got the ribbon as well, but I think the ribbon is going to be a little bit too big for what I want. don't want to make this card looking too dark. So I'm wondering whether if I don't put the holly, I could put a button on there. Let's pop these down and we'll see what, once I glue them down, it's there, but you've got the holly. But what I might do is just space these out a little bit. Whoops, not that much out. There. And grab one of these buttons, and that can go right there on top. Isn't that cute? That's such a cute button. So we've got those. Let's have a look at the stamps and grab ourselves a sentiment. And the stamps are in my little messy pile over here somewhere. There we go. So I was having a look at these before, and I like sending warm wishes, but we're pretty hot here in Christmas time, so I think I might leave that one out because that's a very wintry sort of one. May all your days be merry and bright. Merry Christmas to you and yours. And it comes with this die to cut it out, and so we could cut that one out. Here's our stamps here. That could be slightly bigger. And I do actually quite like that. And this is going to be, when you put that on, it's going to cover up quite a bit. That's the problem. Now, we could use that one. We could even just stamp a couple and see what we think. Because this one here, I was thinking, if I use this one here, I'm not using all of that. That is quite large. So let's grab some white cardstock, which I have got. I'm sure I've got some scrap here. Yeah, this will do. Actually, I've got another piece here. This will be better. And we need a block. Just give that a bit of a season. You love scrapbooking too, Annette? That's good. You should come and join me. We tend to scrap so much about other people or events. I just decided I needed to make an album about myself. I've got albums about my kids. I've done pages about my husband. So I'm doing an album all about me. And I've just been looking for lots of ideas of how we can create some fun pages using up mainly a lot of products that you may already have in your stash. So not necessarily going out and buying new products, but just using up some of the designer series paper you've already got, some of the stamps you might already have. I will admit I do have to buy a new album because the album I had was an old one and it was brown, and it's not going to go with what I want to put on the cover. So, and the albums we have in our catalogue are black. So I'm going to grab myself one of those. But otherwise, it's going to be hopefully a little bit fun. So I'm just cutting that down, and I'm going to pop that onto there, and might trim off the end of that because I just want to use a small section. So let's just pop all this out of the road. And now there's no reason that you couldn't use this die to also cut out pieces for your sentiment. The only problem is this is a little bit too small for all the sentiments in that on the stamp set. Just trying to have a look here. You could use the to and from. There's one little one here which says cheers, but it's sort of like a lot smaller. But otherwise, I don't think, I sort of had a quick look, they would be fairly tight fitting. See, that one there wouldn't quite make it in there, though you probably could mask off the top and bottom and just put, what does it say, the warm wishes. But otherwise, yeah, you might have a sentiment in a different set that you could use. So something I tend not to do, I don't know what it is, but I tend not to intermix sets and so forth. So it's been a real challenge for me, even with this scrapbook album that I'm doing, mixing up papers from different sets, bringing in old stuff. It's just like I'm pushing myself a little bit out of my own comfort zone, but it's good to do that. It's good to sort of get out and have a bit of a play with different ideas. So let's give this a go and see how this is going to look. And let's just move all that out of the road, and that. Just want to bring in my little trimmer here just so I can trim off this end and bring that in a little bit tighter. So I don't want to cover up all of that quilting effect. So here's my card. So I can pop that. I'm sort of thinking putting that up on some dimensionals. It could even go up a little bit higher. But it's got to come from that end because I've got my point going that way. And I'm just wondering, let's just have a quick look. Let's open up this ribbon and have a look at that. See how wide it is. It's not too wide, and it's actually quite a nice soft ribbon, really. So let's just have a look and see. Don't want to tie a bow, but we can make a faux bow. It might be too big. Let's just, I'm going to cut that off. Let's just have a look. Don't know if there's a right or wrong to this ribbon. I'm just going to, we're going to play. Sometimes a faux bow is good because we don't need to have the bulk of a knot underneath. So if we go there, if it doesn't look good, we don't need to use it. Let me just make this a little bit longer, a bit more of an angle. Then I want that to cross over and come back that way. Whoop. Just need to add a little bit more glue there, I think. Sort of done it there rather than at this end because I don't know whether I like that. Don't know. I think it might be. Would it look better at the other end? Let's just take all that off and let's have a look. We don't have to commit ourselves. If we don't like it, we just remove it. Yes or no? What do you think? I probably prefer it there than at this end where I was originally putting it. So let's just, this is the first time I've had to play with this particular product. So let's just keep going. Pop some dimensionals onto the back of this. That will also help hold that ribbon down. Probably using more dimensionals than I normally would, but that's okay. Do feel like though at the moment I've got all my embellishments on one side. Because I've got that there, then I've got that there. I probably should have had that going over here when you think about it. Oh well. So there we go. Very quick little card. I don't think there's anything else that I could put on there. If we wanted to, you've got some stamps there in just like these. I think you can stamp out into like a box, because in the dies you've got these pieces here which cut out just squares or triangles. So these are things that you can use to fill those in. So you could actually just, I don't know, decorate the back of it somehow with some of these. But this one here is sort of generally, it doesn't, these two here have like almost a straight edge. This one here doesn't. So if you wanted to, you could almost use that one like a splatter around the place. That's one thing you could do. Look, for my first play with this, I'm actually quite happy with it. This is the first time I've sort of sat down and played and had to go with it. As I said before, a bit different to what I was originally planning for today. But, yeah, it's a cute card. The other thing I could have done on here is actually emboss the backing. This one here, I did pull out some embossing folders, but I got too excited about making that and gluing all that down, and so didn't use it. But this one here would be quite the lovely stripes embossing folder would be quite cute behind that, because it'll just give it a little bit of oomph. Sometimes an embossing folder doesn't need to be something that's too, you just want something to give you texture. It doesn't have to be flowers and doesn't have to be leaves and all that sort of thing. You want something that's just going to give you a little bit of texture as well. Now, just to sort of have a look at some of these dies and other ways you can create texture. This particular die here just seems to cut out. I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to have a play with it. Let's just do that right now, actually, and see exactly what that will cut out. I've got a piece of cardstock here, so I'm just going to roughly trim this down, because you could add something like this if it does what I'm thinking it's going to do, a few rows of that on that white piece to give you some of that extra texture. I think what this one here is going to do is not actually cut all the way through, I think. But let's have a look and just see. Because even if it's white on white and you add a bit of texture to it with embossing or with something like this, it will just give it that little bit extra lift, which is something I tend to like. Okay, that will cut out the holes. Okay, so you're left with these little pieces, which you could use. And actually, if I had looked at the picture probably better, you can see what it does. It's already telling you. But, I mean, you could have done that in the white or something and had white underneath it every now and then. I think it'd still work quite well. But that's quite an interesting piece that you could use on a card somewhere. Where's that white card base I had? So you could use that, maybe even pop a little bit of red underneath it, use it as a trim somewhere on a card. Look, I think this has got a lot of, there's going to be a lot we can do with this. I'm even thinking of using some of these pieces because they are sort of like patchwork type pieces that you don't even need to use these papers. You could use some of your beautiful little florals. As long as it's a small print, you could use that. Now I'm just going to pop a couple of these out because these, I think, can be used in other, like you can use that. You can use those as tiny, weeny little chevrons if you wanted to on a card. But don't throw those little bits away because they will work out, another patchwork design on a card as well. So all these little bits and pieces I will pop into a little plastic bag and pop them in with my dies and use them up because I think they can be all quite fun, especially if you like to scrapbook scrapbooking in my brain, especially if you like to quilt and getting little quilt designs. So have some fun with this if you get it. Share with me what you create with it because I'd love to see. And another thing I was going to do in this was actually put something in the inside, and I didn't do that. So let's just very, very quickly use a couple of these holly pieces and just decorate the inside of this card because really we need to decorate the inside. So I just need to put a couple of little dots. I'm going to pop one there. And the beauty of these hollies too is that you've got 2 dies which will cut out 4 hollies. And they're all independent. So the dies are in, each die has 2 holly leaves on it. Pop that one there. And I'm just going to this time use the little red berries. And you might just want to use a pair of tweezers because this is very tiny. Just to decorate that. And I'm just going to grab my white pen again and just put a couple of little dots on there. Make sure that dries before you close your card up. So I'm going to just not quite close it up properly, but there you go. So there's the front of my card and there's the inside with just that little bit of holly there. If you wanted to, you could also add another button, but I just didn't want to add any more thickness to my card. So have some fun with this one. I think this is going to be a really fun stamp set to have, whether you like the papers or not. Just having, but if you like quilting and patchwork and that sort of thing, I think you'll be able to make some great cards from this particular suite. I'm just going to pop something in there just to hold that open until I know it's dry. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today, and I'm going to head off so I can get stuff ready for an event I have happening tonight and also for tomorrow. So join me if you can. It'll be around probably about 10 o'clock. I'm sort of not tying myself down to 10 or 10:30. It just depends how I get going in the morning. But I would say at the moment it will be around about 10, and I'll be working on possibly my second and third page to my album. I'm not doing my pages in any particular order. So when we look at getting the album almost finished, I will then put it in the order that I want to do. And I'm hoping to show you some really fun techniques that you can use in creating a small 6x8 album. So join me tomorrow morning if you can. If not, remember, if you're not a demonstrator and you're thinking about becoming a demonstrator, you live here in Australia, I'd love you to join my team. There's only 2 days left that you can join. Cost of $169. Stamping Up will give you the choice of the 5 brand new ink colours, or you can get $65 worth of product to add to your kit. So if you have any questions or anything, please contact me. You can contact me via Butterflies and Bows. You can contact me via Michele@jutrisa.com, or you can contact me at michellejutrisa.stampingup.net. So have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekend. Those of you joining me tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll be next Friday. So bye for now. Take care. Bye.